Hello, my name is Andrej. It's very nice to meet you too. And I'm the Chief Communications Officer for ECLUBTRADING.com. My colleagues, they already had the chance to present themselves, Alex and Maria, also last night. So just shortly about myself. So I've been with eClub Trading since the beginning. I'm also one of the co-founders together with Maria and Alex, and I'm in charge of the cryptocurrency section, and also on the business side, in charge of sales and business development for the company. I would just like to start by saying that the views and the opinions that we express during the videos and also during the newsletters and the daily game plan that we write is strictly for informational purposes only, and it does not constitute financial or investment advice. This is also specified very clearly on our webpage, so please consider this. Now, very short introduction to eClub Trading, because also my colleagues Maria and Alex had the occasion to go over it. So we are a eClub Trading community of very versatile financial traders with a lot of expertise in the industries, and our goal is to share with you guys about financial education and about trading stocks, indices, or cryptocurrencies. If you want to invest in your future and develop this very valuable skill set, which is financial education, we strongly advise you, and also very happy as we're doing it now, to provide the content free of charge for now, in order for you to make the most educated choices possible. And at the same time, right, we want to give you the necessary tools, right, so the skill set, in order to make your investment career as profitable, long-term, and also fun as possible. Now, I would just like to tell you a bit about my investment style. So that's also described on eclubtrading.com on our business webpage. My investment strategy revolves around macroeconomical and fundamental principles, combined at the same time with a very technical and disciplined approach. I'm constantly up to date with the latest economical and political novelties that are shaping today's markets, and most of my investment today is structured around the tech industry, which I believe is changing, is very rapidly changing the world we are living in, and it will also change even more in the years and in the decades to come. At the same time, I would like to emphasize that it's very important to well balance and diversify your portfolio across different asset groups, right? And here, I mean, different stocks around different industries, including forex, including trading in different countries, stock exchanges, commodities, also cryptocurrency, that I'm happy to give you more details on it, and the way we see it and how our approach is based on. I'm an avid reader and a listener of Ray Dalio. He's one of my mentors in the industry, and one of my favorite quotes related to the investment world is that trading is a marathon and not a sprint. Even if you do short-term gains, It doesn't mean that you're going to be profitable for the rest of the months and the rest of the years. So I had to tackle also that through my experience. I had ups and downs at the beginning of my trading career, and I've definitely learned out of that. So my advice, right, from my experience and from our eClub trading community experience, is that you always have to look at it long term and be profitable on a long term basis. Our approach, as you've seen in our different products that we offer, is structured around technical analysis, together also with fundamental and macroeconomical developments. But on the technical analysis trading, this is something very valuable around the different tools that both Maria and Alex, they're industry experts around, like for example the exponential moving averages that we are very keenly looking at, like the 8-day or the 21 or the 50-day or the 200 exponential moving averages. This of course depends also on your trading philosophy and on a trading strategy. Definitely, right, the 8-day and the 21-day is more of a short-term, medium-term trader. And then when you look at the 50-day or the 200-day or the 365s on a yearly basis, there we go into more medium and long-term approach. I would like to point out that also throughout my trading career, technical analysis is definitely a must for a master trader in order to keep your profitability on a constant level in green, right? So on plus, profitable, and especially in current times, right, where we've been in a bull market for so many years in a row, and also with the macroeconomical developments that are happening right now in the world, right? We've been hit by a pandemic. It's still here, right, as we also see from the new variants that are developing. And my point is that technical analysis are even more important now than they ever been, because the monetary policy and the fiscal policy at the same time that is occurring right now in the United States, but also in Europe and elsewhere, and for a very good reason. I think it's definitely, we think it's a good run. It's a good one because it was no one's fault, right? When COVID struck and so many people lost their jobs and their income almost overnight. But the amount of fiscal stimulus, right, the quantitative easing, and at the same time the loose monetary rates that they've been in place for such a long time, they're definitely unprecedented. So even though, right, the Fed, and you've seen this in our weekly newsletters, right, that they're saying about, for instance, inflation, right, though there are different kinds of inflation, right, but inflation is kept under control, right, and it's a temporary run. These fiscal and monetary policies, again, on unprecedented levels, and they've never been tested to that scale, right, in at least in the near modern history, right? So we also have to be very careful how that is and will be influencing the markets in the weeks, months, and years to come. So you have to have a very well defined plan on the technical level, to know your levels, to know what the chart is, to know what the different exponential moving averages are, to have a tier system in place, like we emphasize and like we do in the eClub trading community. So because in case, right, there is a downturn in the market, and it's going to happen at one point, right? We cannot be forever, right, in a bull market, right? Be always on, right, for the market to go up. In case there is a downturn, right, the bearish market, you have to keep your gains that you've accumulated throughout your career, right, throughout the weeks, months, and years, to keep them as safe as possible, right, and to have a good hedge against downturns. Moving on into cryptocurrencies, and this is also the section that I'm in charge within eClub trading community. So you can see on the screen here we have Bitcoin, right? It's the major cryptocurrency. It was the first one that was created by, you all know, an anonymous person. And here you can see the chart of Bitcoin since the beginning of 2021 until today, end of June, 30th of June. And what I would like to point out, you can see here on the chart, right, the red lines, you have the dark green lines, the green one and the orange one. These are the EMAs, or the exponential moving averages, the 8, the 21, the 50 and the 200 days, which is more long term. And if you notice, right, from the beginning of 2021, we've been, so the year started trading with Bitcoin above those above the MEAs, above the 8 and 21. Then we had a short period right in the middle of January, right, when Bitcoin USD dropped below the 21 moving average, and this was already a signal, right, that the market was bearish, right, and you had to be careful and to have a level in place on how you can minimize your gains, your losses, right, for the gains that you've accumulated from the beginning of the year. So you see here 12th, 14th, 15th of January, which it was trading below the 8-day moving average, and it was already a bearish sign. And then what happened on 20th of January 2021? It dropped below, see the green line here, it dropped below the 50 days moving average. So here it was a signal for you, right? You should be very careful and cautious depending on your trading strategy, if it's short term, medium term, long term. But no matter, regardless of your trading strategy, you have to be very careful when you add, right, or when you pull out your investment and your profits. Then at the end of Jan, we had 2 good days, right, and the Bitcoin succeeded in trading above the 8 and 21 moving average, and since then we had an amazing rally, right? So from February the 1st all until 22nd of February, we had an amazing bull run. So hopefully a lot of you guys made a nice profit. Then again, we traded below the moving averages. So here it was a sign for you to get out, or with your first or with your second year at least. But it still hold, even in this period, Bitcoin still was managing to hold the 50 days moving average. And then it regained, again traded above the 8 and 21 moving averages. And then pretty much until the 15th of April, when actually the downturn started. So let me zoom out. So here, right, if you had a good plan in place like we did, and for instance, you would have said my stop loss. So stop loss is meaning when you get out of your trade is, let's say, at the, not even at the 21, but at the 50-day moving average, so at 55,620 value of Bitcoin, you would have saved a lot of money, so you would have minimized your losses. Otherwise, if you had no stop losses in place, look where are we today, right? We are struggling for the past 4 weeks, right, with double bottoms forming around 28,000-30,000 levels, and we are still struggling, right, to go above the moving averages and to be on a bull run again. So my point, again, just to emphasize, 15th of April, if your exit point, as for instance it was mine, around 56,000 US dollars was to stop loss here, you would have saved a lot of money. Pretty much the same picture is reflected across the other cryptocurrencies or altcoins, right? So big one, right? The second biggest one in terms of market capitalization, it's Ethereum. And here you see the chart of Ethereum US dollar. Pretty much, yes, the same picture reflected like for Bitcoin, right? We had an amazing run that we took advantage of since the beginning of March all the way until middle of May, so 15th of May, when a bear flag occurred, right? And then we had downturn in the market together with Bitcoin, Cardano, Mana, and all the other altcoins, right? So again, we are day traders, right, at ECLUB trading community. So for us, I mean, we have very tight stop losses, and we do that on an hourly, right, level, not even on a daily one. So our exit was very close. Was below the 8-day moving average, so at 3,720 US dollars. But let's say you are not an active trader, you are more of a swing trader. Your exit should have been either the 21-day moving average or the 51 at 2,900 levels. If your exit was there, very good. I think you preserved your gains and you minimized your losses. If it was not there, it's not the end of the world, but also to know, right, that these moving averages, they indicate something, even though the fundamental, right, the fundamental and the fundamental analysis and what is happening in the market, they doesn't necessarily point out on a bearish market. I mean, we've emphasized in our newsletter, right, the different exciting developments that are happening in the crypto world, right? The hedge against the inflation, the adoption of different governments around the world, like El Salvador or the other Latin American countries. And I would just like to point out here a very important bullish fundamental perspective around cryptocurrencies. We all know that it's been definitely a journey, right, since Bitcoin and the other altcoins launched, and we've seen adoption, slow adoption, but still adoption happening throughout the process, from private individuals being the first, then more also renowned and famous people endorsing cryptocurrencies, like for instance Jack Dorsey, right, the Twitter boss, or many others. Then we've also started companies such as Tesla, right, with Elon Musk, starting to accept and adopt and buy Bitcoin. And also then it was followed by big financial institutions, right, like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and most of them now on the market looking into adopting Bitcoin and the other altcoins, right, and offering that exposure to their clients on a limited level. So we have all the individuals and all the private sector, right, endorsing cryptocurrencies, endorsing Bitcoin. And what is missing, right, it's a big piece of the puzzle, is for the government adoption, right, for the state. And this is already happening, right, in some of the countries, like the example with El Salvador, even though it's a small country, right, but many other Latin American countries are following suit. Canada, we've mentioned in the newsletter, has some bullish developments on the cryptocurrencies and many others. Then it's also true, right, that we have crackdowns on cryptos. Big example, right? It's the biggest country, China, right, that is enforcing a lot of regulations around mining, especially. And this, I mean, it's not surprising, right? It has happened before. They're trying, right? I mean, they're developing their own digital currency, but one must not forget that even though countries, and they will all do it at one point, even in the UK, right, with the central bank in the UK announcing the same thing like in China, that they will have their own digital currency, right, their own GBP. One must not forget, right, that cryptocurrencies, they're different. Bitcoin is different. The way it was founded and structured is that it's a decentralized system, a decentralized monetary system, not followed, right, and not enforced and regulated by any governments. Whereas, right, if we take the digital yuan or the digital GBP, the British pound, they will still be, right, closely linked to the government as today's currencies are. So that's a major difference that one must take into account, and not just freak out, right, when they hear news around adoption, right, or about a country creating their own digital currency, and that is going to destroy Bitcoin and Ethereum. Again, this is my view, right? You should not take it as to be yours, but just give you a perspective on the cryptocurrencies, you know, on the macro level. Going back to the technical analysis, right? Ethereum, right now we are in the past 3 to 4 weeks, as we've been emphasizing and showcasing in our newsletters. We've been trading sideways, not a lot of developments. Same like for Bitcoin. The Ethereum is struggling, right, to trade above the different moving averages, and you should, in case you are a medium or a long-term investor, right, you should always you should be careful when you add. First point, and second point, if you want to add and if you have liquidity at disposal, right, and you believe in this cryptocurrency, doesn't matter the name, you should always trade, right, with a stop loss around the previous day's lows or about the double bottom, right, that it formed in Ethereum at 1735.81 levels. So that's one point to keep in mind. I will just quickly go on a couple of more. Cardano, this is also something that we've been writing a lot during our past weekly newsletters. A lot of very exciting positive developments happening here on the fundamental side. I personally am a big investor in Cardano. At the same time, I'm very disciplined around the technical levels, right? And I'm not trading without any stop losses in place. Same like for Bitcoin, right? We had a big bull market that ended on the 18th of May. Since then, it dropped below all moving averages, and it's been trading sideways since then. So yeah, again, very careful when you add positions, even though the fundamental analysis and the fundamental outlook point on the bullish side. Be careful, right, when you add, and then when you add liquidity, when you add your assets, right, know your levels and know your stop losses. One of them, right, that we can see now on the chart, and also the ones that we are following, right, at least on a tier level, right, on a medium to long-term investment, is a stop loss, right, in this case around the double bottom that it formed, right? So let's say around $1, 105. This should be your stop loss if you are a medium to long-term investor. Same for Dogecoin, right? It's especially that this cryptocurrency, we all know how it was created, right? So one must be especially careful and use technical analysis when trading this cryptocurrency. It was all good, right, until until 9th of May. It was trading below the exponential moving averages, and then the market downturn occurred together with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and we had a lot of volatility trading, and then it resulted in trading below all the moving averages. Since then, it tried to regain shortly but didn't hold, and then it dropped below the moving averages. So again, be very careful on adding new positions in this cryptocurrency and know your levels. Maybe one more that I would like to point out during this video is Decentraland, right? It's MENA USD that we are tracking here in the eClub trading community. So very nice bull run from the beginning of March towards almost the end, or the 4th week of March. Then we had a sudden we had the small drop below the 8-day moving averages. It managed to regain, trading below. It fell a bit also below the 21 moving averages, but still managed to hold the 50-day, which is also a very important one, especially if you are trading on the medium and long-term perspective. It was trading all above. After that, it managed to regain, and then, like for the other cryptocurrencies, right, in the 2nd week of March, the downturn started, and then it fell, right? It collapsed quite a lot when you look percentage-wise. But though we should not be surprised, right? We know the volatility of this asset group of cryptocurrencies, but what I've been trying to say, it dropped below the 50-day, it dropped below the 200-day moving averages, and that's a big bearish signal, right? That I hope you guys profited and you went out at the right moment. If that was the 21-day at 135, let's say, levels, or it was the 50-day at 119 or 120, still you would have minimized your losses a lot, right? If you managed to get out there versus getting out at the 200-day moving averages or even below, right? I mean, at one point, right, on the 22nd of June, so not that long time ago, it traded at 0.37. Now it's again at 0.52 levels, trying just to regain its first EMEA. Seems that it's not easy, same like for the other cryptocurrencies, trading sideways. So be very careful when you add positions, and if you want to add versus previous day's lows, or if you're a more long-term investor versus the bottom that it formed, for instance, on the 22nd of June, as I mentioned before. That's it pretty much from the cryptocurrency perspective. I'm going to do more videos on the topic. Also, you guys feel free to follow us on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. We're also almost ready with our website, www.eclubtrading.com. There you can see all the products and all the exciting solutions that we are offering on the market. We are definitely the most affordable solution that it's out there in the market, so you guys can learn to trade and to develop this very valuable skill set in life that will also hopefully make you financially also, it can also become a financial career for you, right? Doing that on a full-time basis, as members of the eClub trading community are doing. So we are here to help you. We also have 2 solutions that we strongly encourage you to subscribe to. Those are the daily game plan that is provided on a daily level, on a daily basis before the US stock marketing. There you can see the short review and the action plan that we do at the eClub trading community. Then we also have a very popular and an exciting product, which is called the weekly review or the weekly newsletter. Again, it's a very comprehensive document, very valuable one, report going and depicting right analysis and action plans across all the main industries that are out there, together with commodities, with cryptocurrencies, with the general macro outlook, with quick comments around different topics and hidden gems. So yeah, feel free to subscribe to that as well. And then we also offering something unique, right? A very exciting product that I personally love it a lot, right? It's the personalized portfolio and personalized charts that we can provide upon requests from you. So yeah, thank you very much for your time today, and looking forward to more content and to more videos with you. Bye bye.